A year after the Emergencies Act was brought in, the commissioner tasked with finding out whether or not it was appropriate to be invoked came back and said that it was. In a report spanning thousands of pages in 5 volumes, Justice Paul Rouleau found Cabinet had credible and compelling information that there was a threat to the security of Canada. Just one of multiple legal grounds Rouleau found the federal government was justified in using the Emergencies Act. The invocation of the Emergencies Act is a drastic move, Rouleau said, but it is not a dictatorial one. The convoy protest had started in Ottawa in late January 2022, which Rouleau believes started off as lawful, but he states lawful protests had descended into lawlessness, culminating in a national emergency.
After careful reflection, I have concluded that the very high threshold required for the invocation of the Act was met.
During testimony at the Public Order Emergency Commission, convoy organizers routinely stated the hot tubs and bouncy castles that were symbols of the protest showed it was a peaceful and non-violent one. The judge did not accept this assertion, saying violence and harassment from protesters seriously impacted the people of Ottawa. Dysfunction within the Ottawa Police and municipal government and a lack of help from the Ontario provincial government exacerbated the problems, with Rouleau saying the provinces did not have the capability to handle the emergency. If there was better preparation and anticipation for the magnitude of the protest from lower levels of government, Rouleau believed the Emergencies Act would not have needed to be used. The emergency that Canada ultimately faced could likely have been avoided. Unfortunately, it was not. The majority of the measures the federal government brought in within the powers from the Act were found to be reasonable by Rouleau. The most controversial, the freezing of bank accounts, which Rouleau deemed justified. However, he found freezing the insurance of truckers parked in Ottawa to be ineffective and problematic. Rouleau provided 56 recommendations as a part of his report, the biggest focusing on how police can better handle, gather information, and deal with major events in the future. He also says all levels of government should study the impact of social media, including misinformation and disinformation. He added an additional 21 recommendations on how to fine-tune the Emergencies Act legislation for any potential future use. Justice Rouleau's report provides a big political win for Justin Trudeau, who had maintained in the years since the Emergencies Act was brought in that it was the appropriate thing to do. We'll hear from the Prime Minister later this afternoon when he will respond to the report. Mackenzie Gray, Global News, Ottawa.